Good morning. I'm just checking my levels. I think we're good. All right, so we're going to continue playing The Last Caretaker, a survival crafting game that released in November and has just released its first update. It is an early access game, so you never know. But let's see. We didn't get too much in the way of brand new content, or into the brand new content. All right, this is the backup slot that I want. We didn't get too much in the way of brand new content yesterday. I was mostly in spaces that I already knew. I did, however, go ahead and there's a bit of a pause in the control of the character when you load in now. That's new. Okay, we are at, let's get oriented. We are on our boat at Beacon 49, which is the first quest that they send you to. I have actually cleared it all out, and in fact, I cleared it out completely. I went ahead and broke down all of the electricity, the solar, everything that was broke down, everything that I could find lying around. That is all sorted. I'm going to turn my light on. So this is essentially stripped, except for a variety of these boxes and stuff, which I tend to leave behind because they're a pain in the butt. I did also, I have 4 solar and 2 wind. And I am at level 8 now, so I have a medium battery available for the boat. This is going to give me extra power in the back. I did also build and hook up a second diesel tank. If I'm going to put a diesel generator on the boat, it's probably going to sit right here. And then it can talk to the battery and talk to the tank. But we'll get to that later. The sun is coming up. Downstairs, I have got all 5 of the electric cylinders in place on the electric engine. I created a dedicated poop box, as one does. And I'm starting to build, these are the medium-sized boxes. I'll replace them as soon as possible with the large ones. That will be for a while. I'm only coloring super important things like this is iron, this is plastic. Rubber, this is polyurethane, and this is fabric. And then, of course, we have copper off to the side. Copper is the thing that you find you have the most of. Very early in the game, I want to check. All right, so the controller is a little whiffy, sometimes accessing the inventory. All right, I need to put some of that stuff away, but I will go ahead also and make some more ammo. I'm not sure. This is my memory box. This is my stuff box. This is all the stuff I got back. Most of it when I broke down the solar panels that were on Beacon 49. So that is an indication of what you can get. You get some pretty good stuff. And then if I have to set something up later on, I can go ahead and do that. I do have a couple petrol cans and some small batteries. The net is still out. That's fine. All right, we're just going to get ready and go. And this is the first, there's solar on the roof. This is new. This game is, there are elements inside that you can plug things into. So I put some flat solar on the roof. It's a very light weight, but it's still something. All right, so there's this little sort of outposty-like thing that is about halfway to Lazarus. There is another one up here. But we're going to keep going in the direction of Lazarus. And it is. Here we go. And behind that, we want this. We're going to pass by the diesel and the solar for the moment, although I may go back then. I want to see the new thing. That's what's going on. I want to see the new thing. So, we are going to pilot the boat on our anchor. There is... There's a floater out there. I want my floater. It's daytime. It's not that far away. I don't remember why you were there. Oh, I must have been chucking things down from above. There. There's also a mine. Oh, there's a shark. Is that shark just floating? Did the shark run into the mine? All right, this might be a bad idea. I'm going to go ahead and save first, but I haven't had the opportunity to get a shark. And it's just lying there. It's looking pretty dead. And I remember there being a mine there. Okay. A to ascend. Oh my god, I think it did. I think it ran into a mine. Oh! Okay. Now the sharks, you want to, sharks are notoriously hard to dismantle. But the water is fairly, because they take a very long time and they, if the water is rough, you float away from before you can get at them. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Stuff. And stuff explodes all over the place, so you gotta go after it. Oh, that was a piece of luck. Nice. Okay. The game is being kind. I was worried. But I haven't messed with the sharks. I think I managed to take down one once. But that was late game by that point. Alright. Interact. Right click to take all. I'm gonna actually pick up this put those floating over here as well. Hold down the X button to mute all. No. You are should not be suffering outside of my ship. Nope. Alright. And then we need to recharge. Go ahead and save, because that was a plus. Go ahead and take you with us. I think I will empty the net so that I don't have to empty it later. You know, it's only half full. This is the kind of game where you start off saying, oh yeah, I'm going to leave right away, and then half an hour later you're still at it. But this, and of course as well, The weather is moving in. Check that in. Check that in. Where did my bucket go? Here we go. Put that in there. Now, what I would like to do in the end is I can keep these attached to the wall is have a full set of one of each and then have overflow down the middle. That's going to be easier for some things than others. And that is all my bullets. See, with polyurethane, man. Yes. I get to do this all over again. And I'm going to need a box for polyurethane. And I'll purchase two. Right there. Yeah, I want to eventually replace these, obviously, with the large ones, but it's going to be a minute before I get that. So, and because of you, I think. See, that one is already full. Polyurethane is very heavy, so those boxes fill up very quickly. Copper is also very heavy, so it fills up. Is that full? Right, you're just going to be by random. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can't be bothered. In there. There we go. All right. We have weapons. We have stuff. We are charged. The sun has come out again. The net's been emptied. We don't have to worry about that mine. I was just about to explain that mine was out there and I had to make sure that I didn't hit it. And then the shark went and took care of that for me. So, again, thank you, Dave. All right, move forward. We are on electric power, but we should be moving faster than we were. So we have more engines. And then we need to... Oh, is there... Where is my point of interest? It's over there. All right. Oop, doors and stairs. Here we go. It's just like an end table, just floating in the water. Come on, jump. Here we go. Oh, that one isn't dead. Well, that could end badly. Swim for your life. Where'd the shark go? No. Because it's not right behind me. Oh, that's right. I was going to also check the wind turbine, so we should not be smoking like that. I think I extended the range on those. These in this spot did not used to pick up on that. What was downstairs. All right, he flew away. Okay, we're just gonna go. Not gonna go downstairs again. Yep. Now, doing this one. This is also going to be an opportunity to maybe use my binoculars. So there's a couple of different ways to play this game. One, obviously, is to strip down everything. The other is to leave things prepared as if you're going to come back for them. First time I played, I left everything in place because I wasn't sure. There were not a lot of reasons to come back for the beacons once you had managed to turn on the map and expand and get your map working with the new icons that the beacon gives you, so you know what's around. Other than that, I didn't really have to come back to that. So I went ahead and closed this one down. We'll see if that has changed going forward. I know that they are putting new things in place. It almost gets to the point where you start to think that there's a point where you start doing rocket launches, and there's a full system built out for that. It was already in the original release, early access release, just fine. Almost if that was the end game. I wonder if it's more of a mid game and there's something that comes after. And that might give some reasons for maintaining some of these spaces as active points of interest that you visit. There are some that you very clearly are intended to go back and forth with a lot. But I don't know if the beacons are one of those. Might be an argument to be made for stripping the outer edges of the map and working your way in. You don't have to travel as far. And that's going to depend as well on whether the map is static, so to speak, if this is it, or if they're going to continue adding new things. Because the outer edges may not stay the outer edges. That is Lazarus in the distance. Now, this is our new POI. I kind of hope it's above ground or above water. A big part of this game is underwater, but it's weirdly claustrophobic under the water. I don't know what it is about that. Maybe if I get better at moving around down there, it'll get easier. In terms of expanding the map, though, too, I am going to go back to one of my late game saves. I'm going to stream on Twitch on Thursday evenings, Pacific time. And I'm going to go back to one of my late game saves and look around the Central Warehouse Alpha. One of the other streamers was poking around in there and got some really interesting stuff. All right. Our visibility is for crud. All right, I was gonna go to about 500, but let's let's see. There's my new field binoculars in the toolbar. Let's see how far they see. Alright, so this is the basic setting. That is about 750 meters away. Right trigger to zoom. Alright, it is at least partially above water. I do want to get closer. There's the little symbols in the side. Down in the lower right-hand corner. This is the weirdest thing. Okay, now the sun's going down. Alright. We'll roll up in the middle of the night. So. A lot of games. Timing leaves a bit to be desired. Alright. Pause it somewhere. That's beautiful. Look at the feeling here. Usually you get a sort of particular type of bioflesh out of the sharks, and I don't see that in any of the boxes. I hope I didn't drop it or something exciting like that. I mean, there's an opportunity for more, of course. Almost full on plastic. That's good. That's the special box that's full. Maybe full soon. And then you can be more. Ah, that's a large battery. First one of those, actually. This is a medium, this is a large. All right. I guess we can take advantage of this to do another box. It is so dark out. Let's make this. Make this a polyurethane box. I'm going to end up with 2 copper boxes, which kind of annoys me. Polyurethane, I made it bright yellow. And copper, I made this sort of pale. It'll say container on the front. Oh well. I'll just plug them against each other. The number on the front, if I understand correctly, is how many objects are in there, and you're expected to guess what's going on with those pulled from over here. I'm going to put them back because I think I need them for something else. You're expected to guess how full it is based on the little strip that fills up across the bottom on the top. Okay. It's not necessary to turn things off. I'm just fidgeting around because it's still dark out and I don't want to get too close to this with it being dark and telling them it's there. We are in a part of the map that's not exactly known for killing people. And it's not a real safe part of the map. Right, let's move very, very slowly. Not that slowly. Move a little faster. Just enjoying the sunrise. This is such a pretty game. Huh. Okay. You see that there on top? That looks like a little boy. That will, at this point in the game, flatten me pretty effectively. And I don't know if there's a way to sneak up on it. It looks like a gun turret. That is cool. Except for the part where it might kill me. How far away are we? I'm going to get a little closer without missing it. Ooh. Floating in the water. Are you a shark? Or are you just a random piece of flotsam? You're a table. Okay. Mhm. Your question is, give them right there. We go. All right. We can clear out. We can. I don't think any of the weapons that I have are going to take one of the little boys down really effective. So, oh, did I just take everything? One button. All right. Jump. 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 Good. I mean, it's possible it's not active. She says, hopefully. It's always possible that it's kind of been decommissioned, but the other time I've tried to mess with these things. Okay, you're just gonna have to wait. This game is a little bit too generous today. Let's see. I'm just gonna get a little closer, and then maybe swim over and try to sneak on board. All right, so this is NDNS node 55. Still moving, right? I am anchored. Okay. So I am anchored. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and save. Let's see if we can do it over here. All right. Anything shooting at me yet? Oh, oh, what am I? Ah? Oh, now it's pissed. You can see it moving around up there. Oh, that stuff is popping in the waves. That's the stuff that doesn't like the sunlight. What was it doing out here? Gross as it is, I'm just gonna let it pop. I, I'm sorry. Oh, it makes little squeaking. Okay. And that noise up there, I don't know if it can get me though. Okay. Oh, dear. All right, here. Yeah. Sorry about that. All right, there's a couple of memories, and that's it. It's a box of slime and some memories, and a rollerball on top. And if it hits me now, I'd be toasted. I think it sees me. To action, add to holster. Where did it get added? Or did I accidentally lose it? Where did it go? Did I can't tap. Oh, I'm down a little energy and I just charged up. I guess it's a consumable and then it goes away. I must have hit use instead of add to holster. All right. Okay. Let's just. Yeah, you can see that moving around over there. What's gonna at me? Right to take on. Yeah. It is not, however, taking a pot shot at the boat. I don't think it can see me from over here. Now, later in the game, when I can tank some hits from those things, they're not so bad. But at this stage, I don't think I have the health. So we're going to go bye-bye now. I go on to the Lazarus Complex. Which I should be able to get up pretty quickly because I've done it a couple times. Poor thing. It's just sitting there guarding a box of slime. I really should read some of those logs. YouTube. Make sure I'm going in the right direction. So there were a variety of those little turrets, I guess we'll call them, dotted around the map. I'm not seeing any caves marked on the map. If those are all turrets. On the other hand, not all of the items labeled docks with the dock icon were actually docks. Some of them were something else entirely. One of the things that they have to account for is that, as far as I can tell, resources don't respawn. The biological resources that float in the ocean respawn. You can get new resources if you if you just sort of trawl around with your net out. But a lot of the anything that's in a POI, once it's gone, it's gone. All right. We are remembering where the dock is over here. Let's see. I think we're coming, we come up on the front. You can see it into that marked. That just kind of gets in the way. You can move faster if you've got your diesel engine on. I just don't usually. All right.
I found it. The Lazarus Complex. Its halls lie dormant, waiting for you to bring it back to life.
There's a screenshot. All right, and that is the dock. And we're just going to want to swing around. I very dimly recall something that says the way you dock a boat is you point at it and then turn it last minute. Have to admit, probably bounced a little bit. All right, where are my docking cables? No docking cables. Really? Most really? And just does put the back end of the boat kind of forward and kind of with anchors. If we can. Forward like that? By moving cables forward? Maybe a little bit? Come on. Come on, boat. Go forward a little. No? All right. I'm going to get away. Because I want the low end a little further forward, because then I can get in and out of it a little easier. And nudge forward a bit. And leeches. Leeches on my dock. You had to holster. Ah. Dead leeches on my dock. All right, that'll do. Now the trick is park more lift anchors. Poop me. Playing all by your lonesome. Right. You have to go up to the bridge in order to got the anchor again, I think. Drop anchor. Yeah, you can just kind of shoot leeches on this dock all night. Hello, fresh robot. Come in. I was flanked by the leeches. All right, that is the sun going down, or the moon going down, which means the sun is going up. All right, so we need to get ready. We need to stop doing that, because that is fun. We need to get ready to go into Lazarus. All right, step one action is to connect to the meeting battery, Y to connect to the pistol. Watch the pistol float up. Now, unless I have changed things, you have an opportunity to go back to the boat. So, you want to have a fairly empty inventory, except for ammo. I have the last. It has been collected. Oh, yeah, I probably got all sorts of food. Right. Box. That's all. Okay. Deposit. 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 Love it. All right. I have 123 bullets, which you think would be enough. But let's prep some more. Just in case. And let's get some batteries. We have a lot of the smaller batteries, and I think that is enough. And I also think we don't need that much electrical cable. All right. Let me check my level. The little button, I'm going to remap that button as soon as I can so that it's on one of the triggers in the back to open up the inventory. All right. I do not get access to the bolt rifle for 3 more levels. This is one disadvantage of not looting as thoroughly as you go, because you will end up a bit underskilled, whereas some of this stuff would definitely come in handy at this point. However, I believe I've done this often enough that I can get through without too much trouble, at least the initial areas. All right, so things go heavy on the weaponry. And in fact, let's swap over to the bolt pistol. Reload. All right. Save. This isn't overly concerning when you go in here. All right, we have a critter over here. I am just going to whack with the crowbar. There's your standard issue whack wacka. There we go. All right, there is stuff in there, but we're not going to get it at the moment. All right, that is an elevator up, which does not work. And that vent over there is a dead end. There is stuff in there, but it doesn't actually go anywhere. The where you want to go up is you want to go up these stairs. To here, and it dead ends. I've never actually jumped up into these ledges, but I don't really go anywhere. And that's gonna not be feasible. You can't get around the corner, obviously. So over here, you can make this jump. Fall into the water, it's okay. You swim back around and start again. Walk along this ledge. This is a bit of a point of no return. If you want to get back from here, you have to jump into the water and swim back. And there is a critter. You can see the tendrils over there. Not too bad. But we're going to make sure we are reloaded. And jump. Tuck yourself into the corner. Loot the batteries. Shoot the critter. There we go. Yep. All right. That is fairly standard. Go ahead and just take a few little loots. You see there's no way back there. You have to, but you can't see your boat. Wouldn't advise going in the water during the evening, no, because of the leeches. So, time for some parkour. Jump up and press forward. Jump up. There we go. fairly straightforward. Most of this is just a matter of going up as much as possible. This one, though, you have to go up and diagonal. So, park yourself kind of right on the corner. And I like to overcompensate by aiming up when I'm jumping up. Don't know if it actually matters, but jump up and fall down. That's what we're going. Oh, where did I land? I landed there. I think. Come on, here we go. You had to actually maybe not take a running jump because that mistimes the corner. But nudge yourself out as much as possible. There we go. These pipes, apparently, you can walk on. So let me just come over here. Jump up. And we're looking for the vent. Put that down. Drop that down. All right. See if there's any slime in here. All right, this is a drop. You can survive it. Okay, that is the way you go. But before you do, turn around and look up. Make sure you're not crouched because you can't jump when you're crouched. And we have memory, objects, that, and we have our robot friend. And so as to not have to come back to robot friend, goodbye robot friend. We dismantle this as well. All right, and then we don't have to come back here, put you away, pop back down, crouch, go through here, and as well dismantle this instead of pushing it. All right, we are inside the Lazarus Complex, sort of. This is the central column.
We can't access the Hall of Humanity unless you find the main power. It should be on the roof.
So she's telling us again to go up. All right, so this looks a little scarier than it is. There is a platform over there. There are ladders that you can get to that go down into the water. You want to kind of go diagonally from here, stay as far away from those as possible, and just sort of hopes that you outrun the leeches. All right, we're going to go ahead and use our batteries because they're heavy, and we've got 50 of them at this point. Pardon me while I have second breakfasts. All right. Okay. So you can't make that jump in one go. You have to land at the bottom. And then there's the ladder you want. Press forward. There we go. Stick to the ladder. Up. And over. There we go. All right. There are two ladders, one on each side. This one. And no, don't. Just check before you jump to make sure you're not crouched. She says to remind herself as much as anybody else. All right, these are materials. You'll have access to these later on, so don't worry about it too much. I'm just looking for easily readable things. That is the water purification area. We are going to go up, as the nice voice suggested. I'm going to go over here, and we have a ladder. I'm going to take the ladder up to the top. And looky here, we got ourselves an elevator. Doesn't work, no power. There's also a green glow stick. Glow sticks are important. They tell you that there's something over here to be investigated. In this case, drop a ladder down to the boat area. See? Told you we'd get back to it. There you go. Now, during the nighttime, this place, as you saw, was infested with leeches. So, if you want to drop off, best to do it during the day. We're gonna drop our stuff. Drop our memories. We're not the memory box. We're the memory box. And drop our biomatter. AKA our poop. We'll go ahead and save. And then go back to it. Station. Now, it's not entirely necessary to do this. You can, in fact, do the roof run in one go. But better safe than sorry. Looking off to my left and jumping over here. Okay, this is another ladder. That's the ladder we just came up. This is the main entrance to the primary area of Lazarus. You will end up getting access to this in about half an hour. And it is all sorts of fun stuff. But you can't get in now because there's no power. So we're going to go ahead and come over here. And you'll notice more batteries. You'll notice a lootable battery. I have enough smaller batteries on me that I'm going to just leave out there for the moment. Again, you can there are a couple other spaces where you can come back. You have our robot friend here who's pointing us the way to go. There's also a sign down there that has the electricity symbol on it and its big arrow pointing up. All right, top of this very tall ladder. And we're going to jump backwards and then turn around and we're now on the next floor. All right, there are two ways to go from here. There is a save station and a health station and a room that you can't get into that overlooks that main room again. Now, there's two ways to go. You see that sort of indistinct yellow thing over there? That is a spitter that spits flying hornets. And we're going to have to deal with one of them at one point. But let's not pick a fight with that one because the hornets will take you out at this point. So instead, we're going to follow the electricity symbol, the great big arrow, and the robot, and we go up these stairs. Dead end. Over here. In the corner. Move. Don't run too hard because there are places where the floor drops off. Up another set of stairs. And we are here. And there are leeches falling from the sky. Ew. Okay. Now, you can make this jump. And as far as I know, there's nowhere else to go. You're trying to get over here. That walkway goes there. So, up a little, straight away. Jump. Jump. And there's another one right after it. Because the game is mean that way. Center yourself on the walkway. Move up. Jump. Jump. Keep going forward. That is a sample of those little murder hornets. We are going to leave it to be for the moment. Turn the corner. Come over here. Up the stairs. There's another glow stick. Glow stick is telling us that we can get onto those pipes, or we can go up the stairs. There is a reason that glow stick is there. I think it is because this up here dead ends, and this is too far to jump. So, not up these stairs. Follow the glow stick. Pay attention for this. You come up the first set of stairs, find the glow stick, look down. There is a red vent. Now, if you do fall here, you fall into the water. There are leeches in the water, but you can probably survive them. That's fine. You move carefully along the vent to the other wall. Turn, and we have a place to jump up. And we have spaces over here, but this is a bit of a dead end. What you have here is the other signal that the game likes to give you, which is a stack of boxes. You pop the box, you look up, you can see the walkway up above you. Up on that box, up on this box, and you are rewarded with 2 batteries and a robot friend. Hello, robot friend. I think I'm going to break down robot friend because I don't know whether I'm going to come through here again. There's a lot going on in here. I'm sure there's all sorts of little spaces, but there's not a lot of light, even during the day. Don't jump down there. Unless you want to experiment. Okay. Crouch to get through here. And then as soon as you do, stand back up again. Because now there's this jump, which doesn't actually get you anywhere as far as I know. There might be something on the other side of there. I've never experimented with it. What you're looking for is this ladder. Now, this is what I was talking about back at Beacon 49. First of all, check to make sure you can jump. You've just crouched to come through here. You cannot jump while crouched. If you are still crouched, you run off the edge and try to jump, you're just going to fall in the water. I've done this. You don't die, but it's a long way back up. All right, so you want to center yourself on this, and you want to aim high, and you just got to jump for it, and then don't touch any buttons. Don't touch any buttons on the controller, definitely. I don't know how mouse and keyboard works, but the default action is that the robot will stick to the ladder. If you try to press any buttons to shift in the air or to double jump, you're just going to interrupt that. So we're just going to run and jump and stick. And then go up the ladder. And we are rewarded again with some batteries. Some stuff that we will eventually break down. A stack over there. I don't think that's the way to go, though, because the sign over here says up and electricity. Yeah, that is just a stack of boxes. I think that is a false positive. There's another murder hornet, which I think actually is a warning sign that there is a murder hornet over there. Now, here's the thing about the murder hornets. They're actually easier to deal with the electric pistol. It has a bit of an area of effect. And I don't have a rifle. I am a little underpowered for this space. So I am going to try and sneak up on the murder hornets. Round the tendrils. All right, I'm going to do something really stupid. Get off me, 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 off me, get off me. Do not, whatever you do not restart. All right. Okay. We've gotten rid of the spitter. Actually, I almost think you could just shimmy past it if you really didn't want to mess. As long as you don't trigger those tripwires, they don't always come after you. So you could just shimmy past it. I got I had to be special. So again, using batteries because we're using juice because of the headlamp. And this is another example of why you don't want to move too fast. Because that just ends and you need to jump this. Jump. Oh, now there's a glow stick. That's real nice. Okay. All right. Think there's anything else before you come out. This is essentially 2/3 of the way up. I'm going to switch back to the bolt pistol though, just in case. Yeah, that murder hornet is easier to deal with when you have the murder robot friend, some more batteries, and this. This goes down a very long way. I can't remember where it comes out. Actually, let's go ahead and see. Yep. Everything down. Is it a walkway? That is a walkway. All right. That is, I think, the first murder hornet that is over by that one spot. We have a memory, some batteries, another ladder that I suspect takes you down on the other robot friend. Takes you down on the other side of those spaces. All right, that's as far as I'm going to explore right now. Back up this ladder. And just remember it's here. Because it's kind of hard to get to this ladder from another direction. In fact, I'm going to break down my little friend here. Probably should have done the other two down there, but oh well. All right, so when you come up these stairs, you're coming up from the murder hornet. You have a window, a door, the electricity symbol. Drop this even if you don't intend to use it, because it'll make your life easier later on. Go ahead and open the door. And we can see daylight. And we have the ladder up. And we have 2 ladders down. And we are going to investigate where these go. Because I've also never been on these. I'm sliding down. And the soundtrack is excited. I'm not down at the boat. I have memory, some materials, and you're at the front of the, oh, is the front of the building or the back? Interesting. Something is excited. Have to jump sideways to get to them, and I do not want to experiment at this moment. So we will just put a pin in that. Over here, there's 2 ladders here, one on either side. They both go up to the same gangway. That is the way to go up. I think we're on the wrong side of the building, though. So what? I'm not going to experiment with that one. Because I want to get through this. I'm going to come up here. And jump over here. And we have a little bit of parkour. And then we are on the roof. Well, then we have a beastie, and then we are on. All right. When you walk into this little alcove with all the pipes, you'll come to the back and turn to the right. This is the pipes that you're looking for. This little L-shaped bracket over here. Jump up here. Jump up here. Jump up here. Just double checking that is a light. Got a friend, robot friend. I don't know if you're supposed to throw something at him. This is another one of those diagonal jumps. Up a little bit. Jump. There we go. If you fall, it's not too much fall damage. Jump up. Okay, you can get them up there. Jump up. Aim up. Jump up. All right. Put yourself on the edge. Aim up. Jump up. Double jump. You probably heard me clicking my controller in panic. You can't actually get to him from up here. Oh, how are you supposed to get to him? Some of the danglers you can just throw things at, and then they fall. All right, we still have light. We have a critter. All right, so you probably want to be cautious in this one only because it can push you off the edge and then you gotta do all this out. All right. Down the aiming low. Ignoring these, and then I'm putting this away, and I'm getting out my crowbar. Once you have the pistol, or once you have the rifle, you can swap between the rifle and the pistol. What I like to do is have the bolt rifle for distance, and then the don't walk off the edge, and then the taser for area of effect, and you are on the roof. Where to go from here? We are on the roof. Those are angels. They don't mess with you unless you mess with them. They will, however, investigate. Pardon me. They will, however, investigate literally everything you do. So, be mindful of where you shoot things. All right, you have some beasties over there. You have some solar panels. You have a bunch of those little platforms. For that, you definitely want your taser. You have a power station over here. First task, go over to the power station and hit up the vitality. And the save button. All right. Power station, as usual, wants you to connect things. So we have one small battery. We have a recycler. We have two small batteries. And we have a fabricator. And we have a pico station that we can't get into. We have some cable. And we have this. Now, the question is, all right, we have them. They come at me. How much juice do I have left in the pistol? Not too bad, but not too good either. There are a variety. I'm going to have here, batteries and memories. Get back down there. I want my memories. I want my batteries. Yep. There are little pockets of resources all over the place up here. And we get up here on the roof. This is the roof of the power station. We have them. We can't get to with the taser, but we could with the pistol, but that would really just kind of annoy them. We have a bunch of stuff attached to the lights. This is a room with a beacon that you will have to climb eventually. You can't get into it, however. You can get into this room if you take care of this creature. It is a big one. I thought, okay, let's think about it. This is the elevator. That means this is the back of the building. Because the elevator comes down in the back of the space, which means this is the front of the building. Therefore, mind all of those. This is where I've activated them. Are they coming for me? No, you just hear them. This is where the road is. Those are the ladders that I want. Are they? Yes, that is definitely the boat down there. I want to bring materials up here. This archway, as far as I can tell, doesn't do anything yet. I have no idea. Maybe when the space aliens return, that's where they come in. But this is the space. You want to go over to the archway and find your way down here. I am banking on this. Because usually what I do is I turn on everything up there and I get everything set up. But what I want to do actually is go back down to the boat. So it says this is a hike. You don't want to do it too often, but there we go. Use. So this is the mirror image of what was on the other side. We came up the back side of the thing. Ooh, I've never experimented with you before. I don't remember you're up there. All right. New battery. Enter cell. Don't touch any buttons after you do that. Go down here. And we now have an easy way up from that first set of stairs. We have another robot friend over there if we brave enough to jump for him. I am not. I'm also not brave enough to do that trick where I jump off the ladder and then heave myself back at it in desperation and descend quickly. And we're coming down the stairs. These are the stairs we first came up. And we are back at the boat. So now we have two ways up to the roof. We have the internal parkour way, which I believe we actually brought down some more ladders. We needed them. I'm going to go ahead and process all of this. Put our memories away. And we're going to drop off our poop. We're going to pick up the rest of this. All right, so once that's finished, we want materials for a medium battery. Actually, I'm going to just take this. I'm going to. I don't think I need another wind turbine to take the connector ports, the logic chip. This. I'm going to take the battery cell. I'm going to take the solar cell. I'm going to come over here. What could I build off of this? I need one more battery cell. So what I'm looking at is I've highlighted the medium battery. You see it off to the right-hand side. And it is all green all the way down. I can make at least one medium battery. Except I need two battery cells and I only have one. The font is super tiny. It's hard to see. I need another battery cell. That is a solar cell. We're going to say build. All right, I need at least one medium battery. There's a fabricator on the roof. There's a bunch of stuff that we can build while we're up there. And we can power. I've reached level 9. All right, and I am overweight. Now, I put the polyurethane away. Fill these, fill these, these, fill these. So what we want to do is we want to repair those solar and wind turbines, and we want to connect them to the power room with the recycler in it, and then we can just straight up start recycling things. You are also going to, you're not going to do that. You're not. I'm going to deposit the gold in here. All right, so we cannot take anything up the ladders, and the elevator does not work. However, there's plenty of copper up there. We make more bullets. We need it. And we need to recharge. Connect to cell. Connect to pistol. Pull pistol out. Huh. Grab the pistol. Connect to cell. I could have more than one pistol. Ooh, I wonder if I can get... What can I get here? I get the breacher barrel. That is useful because it spreads. And get the laser sight. Night vision. Complete quest one before me to unlock. I've not seen that. The suppressor barrel is useful once you get to the rifle because it extends the range. We don't have the rifle yet. We're going to get that pretty close, though. All right, the advanced standing light we're not going to need at the moment. And I am terrible with grenades, so we're not going to do that. We will need the water cable and the water cable extender. We'll need the water purifier eventually, but there are enough built up down there that we don't need it right now. Our flashlight is fine. We're not using the diesel engine. Don't need the generator. We will eventually. We could use the forklift on the roof. That would be funny. That would be very funny. But I have a preferred method for that. All right. I am going all in on battery, vitality, and it is going to get to the point where they are going to tell us we need to dive. So I'm going to go ahead and 5 into pressure. And just for the sake of it, I'm going to be scrapping an awful lot of things coming up. So I'm going to do more into scrap. All right, that is all my answers. I have plenty of skill points to pass around as I need them. I do the forklift later. All right. I was thinking I could have 2 bolt pistols and then I could just swap between them, but digging in and out of the inventory is kind of a pain in the butt. All right, how much room do I have and what do I need to take? I'm going to take 20 iron. I'm going to take 20 plastic. And I'm overweight. All right, put back a little of the plastic. Deposit. I think actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to take 5 of that and 5 of this. And if I want to take anything else, I'm going to take one. I'm going to loop the small battery, not And then we'll wait. I can put away the large batteries. I'm still overweight. I think I have more solar cells than I closet do. I'm not actually building a solar cell. Well, I straight up build a solar cell, but I don't think you need 6 for that. I think you only need a handful. All right. I think that the weight is a little fuzzy because it counts whatever's in your bolster as well, which in my case, it's counting all of those batteries. So I think close enough. We're going to climb back up anyways. So let's go ahead and do that. Engrave the leeches. And hopefully it will be daytime by the time we get back up. So I'm going back up the original set of stairs, but instead of jumping across that, I'm turning around and going up here. This was the dead end before. Now it is a ladder. And go up the ladder. It is a very long ladder, but this means you don't have to do any of the fuss and bother on the inside. So our goal is set up a medium-sized battery and at least one solar cell that is fully functional. Get the fabricator working. Here's our next ladder. Directly off to the left is the next ladder. At the very top, turn the head of the robot around, aim for the walkway, and jump. And we're looking for the next ladder. It is over here in the corner behind the pipes. So the other end of the walkway, tucked behind the pipes. This ladder takes us back to the room. All right. Are you a vent I can get into? No, you're just a hole in the wall. All right. You never know. All right, our robot friend. We're going to go around the edges. We're looking for that yellow building. There are enemies over here that we don't want to deal with yet. So this is another thing to remember. You don't have to whack everything all at once. You can, in fact, sneak around the edges. All right, so you're going to build us... Nope, wrong button. You're going to build us a solar... Can you build a solar panel with what we have on it? Yes, you can. All right, and this is going to plug directly into the wall once it's finished and up and running in the morning. Now, can we build a medium battery? I keep jumping all over the place. We can. Go ahead and get it turned around. Yep. Now, because this area has alternate power, I'm not going to do a wind turbine. I'm just going to wait patiently for morning. Just like we're waiting patiently for this to build. Right. And it is done. Connect you into you. Connect you into you. And then connect you. I'm going to come down here. And build a connector port so that we can drape across the fabricator once that's ready. And where do you go? I've forgotten where you go. There you go. All right, so we don't actually have any power because it's nighttime. That's fine. We can, however, connect these into here, but the sun's going to be up in a minute. I'm going to go ahead and be patient and keep these for later. Although I did go ahead and bring another one up. I'll go ahead and drop that. No, I'm going to hold on to that. The sun is up. Put that away. Put that away. You should be giving us just enough power to turn the lights on. The lights are over here.
The power is restored. Now we can enter the Hall of Humanity.
Oh, we can we? She's I don't think that's, yeah. All right, first things first. We have to go whack the beastie. So for this, we are going to go back to our bolt pistol. That is the Hall of Humanities. That is where we want to be. I lied. We're going to go back to our taser first. Add to holster. Because we need to deal with these little popcorns. Hey, fresh robot. Fresh robot. There we go. Pop, 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 pop. Pop, 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 pop. Where we go? There, yeah, yes. Be smash. Be smash. Be smash. Alright, fine. You popped. Stern live with it. Alright, lots of stuff to loot over here. Don't get too busy looting that you walk into another code. And another. I'm sorry. Here we go. Another small battery. Alright, deal with him next. I'm going to start dropping these here and just draining them out because we want to start using the fabricator. I play very conservatively and I come back over here. All right, the ghost station says, do we have that Lazarus come forth? So that the skill tree said that in order to get the night vision, we had to complete a certain quest. And we do not have access to that quest as of yet. All right, you got enough power. But maybe not for that. That is dancing slime. Dancing in the sunlight. Oh, because they're happy because I turned the lights on. But they can't actually manage to figure out how to get out there. We're going to leave them as they are. We're going to deal with this. Back. Pop, 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 pop. Come on. Come on. I need to get back and work your mama. All right. Back, back, back. Okay. All right. What do you actually need? You need a little bit of everything. All right, so first thing we do, we are going to loot everything that is lying on the ground. And you could go back to your boat. You could carry things up. We're going to do it this way. That should be filling. Okay. Drop you in here. We have plenty of batteries, so we are going to break things down by hand and just load up the machine so that when we turn it on, it starts processing right away. Similar to Sanctuary 37, you're looking for tech scraps and plastic, tech scraps, wire scraps, fabric. Go back and get our little robot friend that was over here. And just do a little bit of everything else along the way. Remember that we have the battery to recharge if we need to. Hello, robot friend. Don't go into any of the vents yet, unless you want to pick a fight with something. There's a lot of stuff underneath here. This is a dark area, sorry. Okay. That is the ceiling. Okay. Come out over here. Stand up. That's the way we came up. We cleared out everything. This is the archway, so this is the front of the space. We've got that little nook. I thought there was another robot over here. This also gets us around all of those enemies on the outside. Yes. Hello, robot friend. Goodbye, robot friend. Just going to do a quick circuit of the area looking for basic scrap. All right, we are full up. Walk and eat at the same time. Don't go into the vent. There are things down there. You have to dismantle them. I missed these completely the first time through. But if you dismantle those plates, there's a way into the space. And we have a little bit of juice on you. But I think we're going to use one of these. And turn you on and let you roll. All right, and while that is doing that, over and whack Big Mama. This we are going to charge up. And we have a certain amount of that left, but I think because we want the bolt pistol, I had to holster it. All right. This is going to be a pray and spray and then back away. Right. Yep. Keep moving, keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. Get all the tendrils. Yep. Put the gun away. Okay. 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 They don't function very well around railings. There we go. All right. So we are low on juice, but this is open. And there's nothing else in here that's going to kill us. Now, what it wants us to do, obviously, is it wants us to repair all of your attack scraps. And it wants us to repair. Put that away. It wants us to repair all of these. They're so happy. Okay, so let's clear this out by chucking things over there. Get to them easier, and let's see what the recycler has produced. All right, we've popped that. The recycler has produced all sorts of stuff now. Wait. That's okay. We are, however, going to turn it off so it stops blinking at us. Let's take what we've got over to the solar panels. And we have enough to start powering this space up. All right, our little friend is investigating. That's fine. Move you down here. And make that. Make that. Back from later. That. Ultimately, you will probably want to buy plenty of cable. Can you make it all the way over to the battery? You can. That's okay. I'm going to put you. We are going to have to take power up to there anyways in a bit. So we're going to put you right here. And we're going to plug you in here. And this is going to start filling a lot faster. And it's going to maintain power through all the spaces. Now, we are connected people. We might be able to go ahead and do this without blowing anything out. Don't do this. This is unnecessary. It's still processing things, which is fine. I think we're okay for now. We are carrying a lot of weight. Let's drop Actually, let's be overweight for a little while. Get out our snack cakes again. Right, yeah. You can be repaired very easily. I'm using up some of the materials that I'm carrying on the wind turbines. Careful not to disturb the tendrils. You can just sneak right up on them. We can't attach them to anything until we've taken care of these, but we can repair them, thus getting rid of the materials. Keep an eye on our battery power again. Switch over. Go ahead and eat the rest of these. We can get into that building because there's power, but we don't have the authorization code. All right, so what this is telling me is I do not need to carry around this much copper. It can be dropped. I don't need any of the polyurethane. I don't need any of the gold. But now I'm underweight. Fantastic. Now, getting power to the elevator makes life easier. So, however, powering the elevator and the lights on what we have at the moment is difficult. So, we just do the other. Carry this over as far as it'll go. Actually, no. It's more efficient to do this. Move you off of here. Put down an extender. Connect you back in, because at the moment we have the solar panel and just that one sad battery. So what we're going to find is that when the sun goes down, we're going to get a little dicey. You over here. Down another extender. This is where we will eventually put in the wind turbines, but for the moment, I also like to put a medium battery back here for extra juice. But for the moment, we have an elevator. The elevator is working. Leave the lights off. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to leave the lights off. I'm going to go down to the Hall of Humanities.
Welcome to the true meaning of your existence. This is what we were made for. You've proven that what was lost can still matter. Carry this truth forward, Caretaker. There is much yet to be done.
All
Lazarus
right.
racks have stood empty and broken long enough. Restore one to working order. It's our only hope of bringing humanity back from the silence.
All right, so she's given us our new
Relay
quest.
atop the Lazarus waits quietly.
And another one.
Guidance is crucial. Bring it back online, Caretaker, and let its signal shine again.
So there's two quests. There's not really a huge difference what order you do them in up until the point where you leave Lazarus. But before you leave Lazarus, you need to have done both. You have to have prepared at least one Lazarus pod and get it into working order. Because when you leave here, you're going to get something. When you bring it back, it has to go into one of these pods right away. So you do not want to be scrambling around fixing the pods afterwards. Off to the side here, you have a fabricator and a recycler. In front of you, you have a Pico station. We're going to use the Pico station. Acquire Hall of Humanity authorization. Downloading. Please wait. Download complete. Authorization has been granted. Have a nice day. It kicks you over to the security space. This is the roof. This is us. This is where we hooked up the power, where we were up on the roof. This is our ship. Hard to see because of the... In fact, this is driving me crazy. Toggle display mode. This little bitty active space here in the center will change your display. This one is a lot easier to read. And if you look at the security, that one apparently we can't see. If you look at the security camera, it is now in color. So this is downstairs from us. We'll get to it later. A lot of critters. They spit leeches. This is the long view of the Hall of Humanities. You can see the water filtration space underneath. Research is one of the spaces that you can get to upstairs from here. The food court is one of them. Those spit skitter bugs, I call them. They're green. They swarm like a mofo. They spit acid. It's not fun. This is the office. This has a bit of, this has critters too. We'll get to that. Roof B, this is where we came in. And I'm not sure why roof A doesn't show. All right. So, working our way clockwise around the room from the ladder, from the elevator. These are stairs. They go all the way up to the top. This ladder also goes all the way up to the top and all the way down to the bottom. If you're going to bring power down from the roof, you're probably going to bring it down these ladders or these stairs. It can be done. I do it regularly. It gives you another power input. It's not your only option, and it does require a certain amount of fidgeting, but it can be done. We have a bunch of stuff that can be broken down, a bunch of scrap. We have some water cable and a water tank. We are going to put somewhere. We're still going clockwise around. This is another ladder that goes down to the water filtration space. So the way that I prefer to deal with this space, because you can see that is very large. What I prefer to do is wait until I get the rifle, get the suppressor on it, which gives me the extra range. You can just pot shot it from up here. Whatever it spits out can't get at you from up here. Do the big tickets from up here. This opens up into an elevator that goes down to that space we were just looking at. This is how you are eventually going to get your power and water up and down from that area. These spaces, I'm just using up these batteries because there's lots of them. These spaces you can explore and dismantle at your leisure. There's another ladder that goes down. Does it go up? It also goes up. Up above us is the cafeteria where we do food processing. You can jump up there as well I mean, I've seen people jump up there. I've not had the balls to do it. I prefer to take the ladder. But that is just another area that we will get to in the end. And you're going to continue walking along here. You can see there's a bunch of stuff from here that you want to get. That's the back of the water purification area. All the way around the end. Back to here. We're going to get some more cable. We're going to get some more scrap. We're going to open these doors. Now, these doors carry fresh water out and in. This is the elevator. The elevator is now working. This is where we came up when we climbed up through the interior. This is the ladder down to the ship. This is the elevator down to the ship. It works now, mostly, because the ship or the roof is only running on solar panels at the moment, solar power at the moment. This is our little robot friend. Goodbye, robot friend. He, remember, was pointing the way up to the power on the. And take the small battery with us. That is power in. If you bring power from the boat, you can send it through here. You can drag it all the way out to the back. That is the second way that you can get power in. You can bring power down from the roof. You can see the staircases very easily over here. You bring power in from your boat, which can usually be really good because your boat has got an awful lot going for it at the moment. Okay, we're going to dismantle. This is actually a caretaker, not just a robot. It is another robot like us. There's two tiers of robots. One are the caretakers and one are the plain robots. Keep an eye on our batteries now that we don't have any snack cakes left. And carry this around. It is giving us the materials that we're going to need to repair a Lazarus rack. All of those robots have tech bits. Put you over there. And we're going to store all of our scrap in here. We're going to drop the small water container. We are going to add you to the holster. You're not going to do very much at the moment, but that's okay. All right. We also have the other battery that we've been carrying around. But since we now have a way back to our ship, we're just going to drop that right there. Okay. And we are going to finally drop this water cable because we are going to find more of it. I don't really need it at the moment. It's cluttering up. All right. So now we're working counterclockwise from the recycler. We're just going to pick up everything we come to. Pick up the power cable. It's the power cable. Point to the ends. Hit B to pick up the water cable. We're going to go back for our robot friend. Goodbye, robot friend. And leave the table alone for the moment. We are being strategic about what we're opening. All right. What we're dismantling. So that is the elevator that brought us down from the roof. If you come down from that elevator, come straight out and off to the right, there is a save. Now that I'm thinking about it, should have done this straight off the bat. We'll definitely do it now. It has a powered entrance and a manual entrance. If the power on the roof fails you, and you're coming down the stairs because the elevator doesn't work, goodbye, robot friend. then you can still get into that room. And again, I am dismantling things that are more rare. Okay. Moving on. We're going to save. We are overweight again, overencumbered. All right, so you have two options now. You can bring power down from the roof, or you bring power off the boat. I'm going to go back to the boat, and I am going to bring power off the boat. And drop our water cables, though, because we're not going to use them for a bit. All right, so. Hello, robot friend. Welcome back for you. The other reason I'm going to come back to the boat is that I'm going to recharge. All right, so pull the cable out and drop it down. There you go. This is not connected to anything at the moment. It is just a cable. And can't do that because we need plastic. All right, then. Leave you where you are. Come back for you. We don't need to call the elevator because it's already here. What time is it? It is daylight. Great. All right. We're back at our boat. Going to come down here. I'm going to drop off. Sorry about that. We're going to drop off our poop. We are going to drop off the extra items. We don't need gas. We don't need that. We keep the batteries for the moment. We can go back in there. All right. I'm going to plug in here. We don't have anything to recycle at the moment. We can recharge our bolt, our taser. Okay. We are full. Connect to electric pistol. We are, well, actually, if we go up that one set of stairs, there are things we're going to want. All right, so we need, for the moment, to put away anything that is not plastic, iron, and rubber. Yes, plastic, iron, and copper. We have 35 iron. Let me double check this. Give me my inventory again. There we go. Always what's it jumping about? This menu has gotten weirder. Okay. Copper and plastic, yes. Oh, and we have enhancers. Right. Battery. All right. And then we have there. I'm going to put 5 into pressure. Because that is, all right, we're putting 10 into pressure. That is coming up. I think we only need, I'm pretty sure we only need 20 and 30. I can't remember. The pressure gauges are a little weird. All right, so we need to top off our battery. All right, so. And now we have 40 battery. Okay. We should have done this, set this running when we first got here. We are going to build a bunch of cable. And check our cable works in here. I'm going to walk away so that it pulls out of, hopefully it pulls out of that. Go ahead and check the net. Junk. This will fill passively while this is sitting here. It'll fill very, very slowly, and it will fill passively. All right, so what we need here is we need an extender. Go there, back into the boat. Now we are going to hop over here. As far as it'll go. All right, we'll only go that far. All right, we'll put you here. All right, so we want to come up this side of the ladder. We're going to pop this here. No, put that back. Pick this up. I said, pick this up. Here we go. Let's go back to our tables. Okay. We still have a chance. We're okay on vitality. The fabricator should be done. All sorts of people. All right. Ooh. I forgot to check. All right. We are still waiting. It's coming up in 2 levels. We are going to get better solar panels, and we're going to get the bolt rifle and a bunch of fun stuff. A lot of this starts to transition into that actually. Let's say you get a breacher barrel. I think the laser sight goes on the bolt pistol. It might also go on the... Where'd you go? Did you bounce? Where'd you go? Put that away. Okay, they both ended up in there. All right. All right, so pull out the gun and inspect is hold down the right joystick. And tilt around a little bit. Okay, so the rail is where the sight goes. Here we go. And you cannot put anything on your front. Okay, so turn away. No, let out. All right, so this will tell you exactly what you're aiming at. It's not my favorite sight, but it'll do. The bolt pistol, add to holster. We'll take a piece at the front. We'll take the breacher barrel. We want that because that will give us more impact when the bombs hit. The rifle, we're going to want a different front. And we don't have the sight that I want for this gun. So, I like the other sights better, but this will do. Go ahead and just pull that up since it's not making us overweight. And we're going to shed some weight when we go up the ladder. So, save again. And come back to our electrical bolts. It's a little dark in here. All right, so we're going to connect cable. We're going to get onto the ladder. It's going to take the cable with us. This is similar to what I did at Sanctuary Dock 37 when we were wiring that up. This is more important though because you will come up here a lot. All right, I'm going to point at the wall, fabricate an extender there. Wait for it to finish, connect the cable. I'm going to continue getting off. There we go. So it comes up straight up the wall, connects here, and now we should have enough cable to drape it over here. It's messy, but that's okay. This is filling because we've brought it. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. All right, fine. Be that way. It's too far to do in one go, is what it's telling me. So you got to put an extender down. This is messy and repetitive, but I think, no, actually we're just going to do that. Yep. Now, go ahead and dismantle this, get our bits back. Yep. And in here, we are going to begin. Make sure you do this through the right one because it's going to matter. And now we are drawing power from the boat. I'm going to put an extender here because I know I'm going to need one. Connect. If you don't dismiss the extender, it continues to be an issue. It continues to show you the possibility. I'm going to put this in the center of this, like so. Again, I'm going to need it. And then continue carrying up. Apologies, robot friend. And apologies for the rather low quality of the lighting. And actually, I'm going to take you over here. I'm trying to anticipate some of the wires that I'm going to have to put in later on, including for these spaces. No more cables left. That's okay. In this case, we are going to make some cables. How many can we make? We can make plenty. Build 5. All right. Wait for the queue. So this is going to pull power from the boat. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to go back up to the roof. We're going to sort out what's going on up there. but I want to start setting this up first. Moving over here, put you down about here. And of course, I'm going to need wires here. We go over here. And now you have power. All right, I'm going to stand here and catch these things because this is right by the edge and I don't like things falling into the water. This is me being a worrywart. Also, I want my XP. Apologies for the noise. I'll try to talk over it. That might soften it a little bit. Okay. And because we put some of the caretakers and some of the robots in, we should be getting some of the high-end materials. Let's look at our little friends over here. What do they want to recycle? We need rubber. But we have everything else. All right, now I'm overweight. That's okay. I'm going to drop some stuff off by this first pod, which is probably the one that I'm going to repair first. So, within this radius, we're going to go ahead and drop the gold, polyurethane, half the copper. There we go. Lazarus is a little laggy because there is a lot going on in this space. And so they are still optimizing. All right, now we need rubber. We're going to start working our way around the edges, looking for anything that gives us rubber or is really easy to undo. I think there's some over there. Rubber comes from tires and occasionally from traffic cones. Hello. There are tires here. And I think there may even be tires out on that little block light. Okay. Don't fall in the hole. Go ahead and come back. Just grab a random object. I'm just checking to see what's actually in my inventory at the moment. All right. Back to our chosen pod. It's also the one that's the closest. You're not supposed to be there. This is also the one that's the closest to the water purification if we bring it up through there. So As I said, we have what it takes. This is going to eat through our titanium and our carbon fiber. Now, there is titanium and carbon fiber back on the boat. And we could use it here. However, no, we don't need our flashlights. Okay. Where do we want to be plugged in? I'm going to be plugged in over here. Do I not have any cables left? All right. I'm going to have to go back and get some more cables or find some more tires. That doesn't have I don't get to. Can I build? What can I build? Why are you doing that game? All right. Build 5 bits. All right. This wants to be plugged in both to power and to water. But we would plug it into power first and then flip the switch, and she's going to give us our marching instructions. We can't actually do it until we complete this stuff on the roof anyways. And you do want to do the water reclamation before this. So. Almost over here. About here. You're just going to end up with a whole bunch of cables everywhere in this room. And this is a space that you will be in and out of a lot. There's no way around it. All right.
A Lazarus rack is ready once more. You've rebuilt more than machinery, Caretaker. You've rekindled humanity's future. Now the seeds of our survival can grow again. Our survival depends on locating a seed vault. There are whispers of one hidden far to the north. It safeguards the precious human seeds.
All right. Locate a seed vault, retrieve a human seed, and return it back to the Hall of Humanities. Here's the bit she doesn't tell you. This rack, in order to actually do its job, actually has to also be connected to power. You might be able to get away with not connecting it to power or to the, but let me start that over. This rack, in order to do its job, has to have water. I think in order to complete the seeds of the future or the guiding light, whatever the next quest is, she's going to tell us to go get a seed back and bring it back. In order to complete it, you bring it back. It may just be that it needs to have power. However, in order to run, to actually do what it's intended to do, it also has to have water. And that means getting the water system set up downstairs. I prefer to do it first. But like I said, I don't want to go down there until after I have the rifle. And I am still one away from the rifle. And there's nothing here. Wait, the red dot site. That I want. That's the site I prefer. As opposed to the laser site. The soil forge. This makes food materials, which when we clear out the cafeteria is going to make a lot more sense, but you don't actually need it now. What we need right now is to get to level 11, because that gives us the bolt rifle, the big box, and the big battery. I'm not the biggest fan of the way they implemented the batteries, but I'll make it work when I do the underwater portions. So we're going to get one. I'm going to not bother getting the little one. We're just going to straight skip to the bolt. plus. The other thing is it will get us the water tank. So what has to happen in order to do this? And again, I'm doing this in this particular order. You don't have to necessarily do it in any order. What needs to happen next is we need to go loot a bunch of stuff. Unfortunately, there is a bunch of stuff on the roof. There is also a bunch of stuff in that room, and that room. But there's another reason why you might want to go through that room. And we'll see that in a minute. All right. And I am at nearly 3 hours. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call the stream here for a moment. Go ahead and save. And then, well, I don't need vitality that badly. I'm going to go get lunch. I'm going to come back out and continue. And there's a couple different ways to do it. One is the really boring part of getting rid of the enemies, and the other is the really boring part of breaking down literally everything within reach. The breakdowns, the dismantlings I like to do off stream because it's fairly run of the mill and the machine makes a lot of noise. But I will come back to stream to do any of the enemy clear outs, particularly these big rooms down here in Lazarus. The ones on the roof are fairly straightforward. I'm going to do the stuff down here first. And the reason I'm going to do it that way is I want to get closer to that rifle. That rifle is going to make clearing the roof a lot easier. There's a lot of stuff that can be done down here that I don't need to touch the enemies, or the enemies are fairly straightforward. So, yeah, that'll be my order of operations. I will be back on stream later in the day, and we'll start opening up some of these rooms. But I may chuck a bunch of stuff into the recycler ahead of time to build up XP and try to get up to level 11. All right. I'll leave that there. I'll say thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, etc., and so on and such like. And I will see you later. Bye.